Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Charles Alvarez, he's a regular on the program, and always delighted to have him on the show. How are you, sir?
Excellent, Kevin. How are you?
Doing great. Love what you do there at Cornerstone Business Academy. It is changing businesses, one business at a time, one coaching session at a time, taking companies to a new level. I know our businesses have worked with your coaching and have always found it extremely helpful. Talk a little bit, kind of give us the overview of what you're all about, and then go ahead and introduce us to your guest today.
Well, at Cornerstone, what we do is we help companies scale their business and also free up their time, which is delighted me to bring on our guest today, which is Paul Carson, who helps businesses grow through PR, lead generation, and advertising. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome, Paul. And I guess, Charles, you and I are going to have to speak very loud for Paul for his connection. Yeah, Paul, kind of tell us about your company.
Well, it's Carson Group Advertising, and we incorporated in 1973 here in Houston, and we've been active ever since then for a variety of clients. Our present clients are like Houston Garden Centers, Bex Prime, Abacus, Plumbing, Air Conditioning, Electrical, Ethan Allen, Furniture, and Coshada Casino Resort in Louisiana.
Very good. Go ahead, Charles.
So, Paul, can you kind of walk us through what some of the biggest challenges are for your customers and how your group is helping alleviate those challenges?
Well, when we went in the advertising business, I'm going to backtrack just a second on that. We realized that advertising was not the only driver of sales. And a lot of advertising agencies only think of just producing radio and TV spots, but because we got into retail, handling retail clients, we realized there's a lot of components to sales. And so the biggest challenge for many entrepreneurs and retail customers is how to relate to their customer base. And that's what we help them with. And we do that in a variety of ways by interviewing customers, deciphering their media habits, finding out what they really like and dislike about that business.
Yeah, that's interesting. Talk about how much your business has changed, particularly in the last decade or so.
Well, in Houston, it used to be that if you ran an ad on 2 radio stations, 3 radio stations, 2 TV stations, and the Chronicle, you would reach, 80% of everybody in Houston. That's not true anymore. For a variety of reasons. There's not one radio station that reaches more than maybe 9 or 10% of the population. And the Chronicle, is just not as most people don't take the Chronicle anymore. So, you just can't be any one place. And, of course, the Internet has changed everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Charles.
So, Paul, can you kind of walk us through how you have helped one of your clients overcome those challenges?
Well, I'm going to go back to several years ago when we represented Randall's Supermarket. They had 4 stores, and actually on their windows they had a discount supermarket save up to 20%. But I had gone into one of their stores, and it was fantastic. The people were nice. It was clean. It was just wonderful, and just a great shopping experience. I mean, great produce and meats and everything. And so I talked to some of the customers that were there, and they basically said, "We don't care about saving 20%, and what we like is this, this, and this." So I called Bob Onset, who was president of the company, and said, "I'd like to talk to you." So I went up and met with him, and he basically said, price is what sells groceries. And I said, yeah, except you have, air conditioning, you have nice customers, you have all this stuff. And in reality, your prices aren't they didn't have the lowest prices on produce and meats for sure. They were very competitive on, canned goods and basics and stuff. And the reason was they bought better produce and meats than their competition. So he said, well, what should we do? And I said, well, you need to advertise for people who want what you're selling, because you advertise now price, and people come in here and they're not getting what you're advertising. So actually, that's how we came up with this Remarkable campaign back then. It's remarkable that a store that gives you this, and this can be competitive in pricing. We didn't say lower prices; we said competitive, and it started working. And we represented them for the next 18 years till they sold out, and they're part of Safeway now.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And there's always something unique about the character of Randall's. It's and frankly, to be honest with you, since it's become a Safeway company, has lost some of that. It seems like a California company now.
Well, that's correct. And interestingly, before they sold, they were up on parity with. Of course, H-E-B wasn't in the market at the time, but or they had these small stores that weren't like they are now, H-E-B. But they had 24.4% of the market share, and they're down to maybe 4 or 5 now.
Wow!
And I actually called Safeway, and they were using Remarkable for everything, like bread. And I said, white bread is not Remarkable. And their white bread's no different than anybody else's bread. You shouldn't keep using that. But in any case, that's what they're doing. So, but we've had some other situations where, like Coshada, for example. This is more recent. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're in the Lake Charles market. But it's a Native American casino. So they're not in Lake Charles; they're outside of Lake Charles, and about 70% of all the people that go over there are from Texas and Houston. So there's some very nice casinos and restaurants and everything in Lake Charles, but Coshada is like another 35-minute drive. So when Tillman Fertitta was going to build a new casino there, the Golden Nugget, we knew it was going to impact Coshada. So, and the Coshada casino is much different. It's more laid back. It's not aggressive, more gaming. I hate to say it exactly that way, but it's not. It's just a different feel and everything. But anyway, so our challenge was, what are we going to do to counter a big new casino? And he was going to spend $600 million to build this thing, a big hotel, and have all his restaurants in there and stuff like that. So we contacted Terry Bradshaw, because he's from Louisiana and well known, and he started doing our television commercials for us. And right now, even with the introduction of the Golden Nugget, Coshada's business is doing very well.
Yeah, very interesting. We got about a minute left. Charles, why don't you wrap it up for us?
Well, for someone to be in advertising, marketing, and PR since 1953, that's pretty much, to me, tells me all you need to know. So if you are having a trouble, generating more leads for your business and getting the word out as to, I love what Paul said, which is really interviewing the customer and really relating to your market. Because if you cannot relate to your market, you're going to die a very slow, if not very quick death. So, Paul, thank you very much for being on our show.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, great stuff. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. There, make sure you check out our new national TV show on the Biz Television Network. Have a great day. Spend it wisely on this station.